I am here today because I want to talk about our clean eating meal plan that goes with the 21-day fix. This is the bee's knees. This is where all the action happens. You're working your butt off in these workouts, and I know you are because I know I am. So definitely don't undo your awesome hard work in the kitchen. All right. This is where a lot of us mess up. So we're not going to mess up. We're going to know the plan. And if you guys have not yet read this little booklet, you have to read it. Okay. Seriously, you really want to read this booklet because it has so many little tips and tricks, and it really explains how the whole system and the portion control eating works. And I don't want you to be scared because when I first saw these little containers in the mail, I was like, man, they're a lot smaller in real life than what they look like. But the good news is, of course, you don't just eat one of these a day or one of these a day. You eat multiple ones of each day. So first, you need to know how many of each one to eat. And that can be different for every person because it depends on your calorie target and your calorie needs. For someone who weighs more, they're going to have more calorie needs. For someone who weighs less, they're going to have less. So we all have a target that we need to hit. And in order to find out your target, you have to do this little equation that if you read your book, it's found on page 4. But I just want to go over that really quick because it's super easy. Get out your iPhone. I'm not really good at math, but I have an iPhone. I have a calculator. So let's just take, for example, someone who weighs 160 pounds. All right. So you take your base weight, 160 pounds. Not how much you want to weigh, how much the scale says today. All right. 160 pounds times 11. All right. So whatever your weight times 11. I'm just using 160 as an example. All right. That equals 1760, 1,760. Now you're going to add 400. Okay. 400 to that. Okay, and then that equals 2160, and then you're going to subtract 750, okay, minus 750. All right, so that puts you right at 1,410 calories per day. That's like the aim, that's the target. So instead of counting calories, because no one likes to count calories, because no one likes to do that, we are just falling into our calorie target and eating the containers that are allotted for that calorie target. See, it's not so bad. So I believe it's on, let's see, page 19 has how many for each calorie target, okay? So for example, the equation we just did with someone who's 160, they would fall under this first category here. And just so you know, if your calorie target falls under 1,200, then you always round up to 1,200, okay? If it goes over 2,300, calories per day, then you round down to 2,300. So no one should be below 1,200 and no one should be above 2,300. Okay. So now you find, okay, the one we just did, it is basically 1,400 calories per day. So that falls into that first category. So someone who can eat 1,400 calories a day means that they get 3 of these, 3 greens. They get 2 of these. They get 4 of these. They get 2 of these. They get 1 of these, 1 of these, and 2 teaspoons. Okay, so we're going to go over what can go in each of these. But let me also explain something. You don't have to eat out of these because, for example, the yellow is for our grains such as oatmeal and steel-cut oats and even cereal and stuff. So I put cereal in this one as an example. I'm not going to eat my cereal out of this little yellow container. There's no room for milk, okay, because I packed that sucker full. So obviously, use these kind of like measuring cups. You know what I mean? And use them like that. I think it makes it a lot easier. Plus, for like yellows, because yellows are your carbs, if, you know, you can have a piece of bread. You can have a piece of whole wheat bread. A piece of whole wheat bread is not going to fit in here. So, you know, you need to get familiar with the list of foods that are approved for each container and just familiarize yourself with it and get to know how to use it. But obviously I would pour this into a bowl with my milk or whatever, and that's your cereal. Okay, so let's go over the other ones and what is included in them. Green we know is veggies and stuff, and again, if I'm making a salad, I'm probably going to use at least 2 of these. And let me just say this. I know it says, okay, if you have 1,400 calories a day, you have 3 of these. As far as greens go, if you're feeling extra hungry and you feel like you need a little bit more food, you can have an extra green one. That's not in the book, but I say so. If you're hungry, then eat something green. All right, fill this little sucker up again, because pretty much anything that goes in here is very low in calories and it's good for you because it's green. So So for example, if I'm having a salad, I'm going to use at least 2 of these, maybe even 3 if it's like my lunch salad. So I'm going to pack it in. But again, use it like a measuring cup, okay? And then you can have a bigger Tupperware container. For example, if you're going to work and you want to take your lunch with you, you're packing your lunch in the morning, okay? That's 1 green, all right? And then you fill it up again for the 2nd green. I like a lot of lettuce. Okay, so measuring cup. There we go. That's, maybe you can't tell, but that's a lot of lettuce. All right, so use them like measuring cups. When that light bulb went off in my head, I was like, oh, that makes so much more sense, because trying to eat out of these is maybe not really ideal. So measuring cups, okay? So we know your greens go in here, your veggies, and again, you can always have extra veggies. Can't hurt. All right, so purple is your fruits. All right, you can see the list of all the fruits that are approved, and that's pretty self-explanatory, pretty easy. Okay, your reds are your proteins. Now this one, you always want to make sure you have enough protein, because both fiber and protein are things that are going to help you stay full. All right, so in my case, I have boiled eggs in here. 2 eggs is 1. A scoop of Shakeology is equivalent to 1 protein. So that's really cool, because you can have like dessert and feel like you're getting your protein in. All right, and obviously your meats and your beans, I believe, go in here. No, sorry, beans are the yellow. Excuse me. But there's a whole list on one of these pages in here of all the proteins that you can have, and you'd be surprised. A lot of it actually fits in there. Let me reiterate that this is cooked protein. All right, so don't put your raw chicken in here to measure it. It's cooked protein. That's good. Okay. Then we have blue. We have our little blue ones. These are for your healthy fats. Okay. So healthy fats like avocados, certain cheeses. Not all cheese is made equal, but some cheese can go in here, like goat cheese, and I think mozzarella's in there. And let me tell you, if I could have a container of this full of goat cheese, that would make my day right there. So your nuts also go in here. Some of your nuts go in here, like almonds, but you don't fill this whole thing up with almonds, all right? In some cases, you have to actually count what goes in your container. So again, just get familiar with your list. But in this case, almonds are part of this healthy fat. So I have 12 almonds, and that only fills it up maybe like 1/3 of the way. So you can't always fill it up all the way with certain things. So just keep that in mind. It's really not that complicated, though, I promise. Okay, then here, this is for your seeds. Okay, so pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds. I have sunflower seeds in here, and this is great for like if you're having a salty craving and you need something like crunchy and salty. Sunflower seeds, salted sunflower seeds, awesome, love it. And of course, these are your carbs. Now, these are cooked carbs, okay? So if you're doing oatmeal, if you're doing steel cut oats, if you're doing rice, if you're doing sweet potatoes, it's cooked, all right? So that's a good thing, because you can have more when it's cooked, all right? So that's your carbs. I think that's going to be the hardest one for most of us, is the carbs, but that's where your Shakeology comes in, because it really helps you with your cravings and stuff. So those are your containers. You need to find out how many you can have of each one. And then the last tip I want to give you, well, not the last, but almost the last. One of the last tips I want to give you is your tally sheet. Guys, make use of this tally sheet. This tally sheet is awesome, because it really helps you keep track of what you're eating, how much to eat. Very, very important. So make a couple copies of this, carry it around with you, you know, and you can really see where you're at. You can see, oh, I've only had 1 green today. I need to have 3 more by the time the day's over. And really try to eat everything that is on your list, which probably isn't going to be a difficulty for most of us, at least not for me. I like to eat. So, but make use of this. This is going to help you a lot. This is like your food budgeting sheet, so you can really see where you're at and how you're spending your food budget. Okay, so that's going to be a big blessing. Now, the other thing is space your meals and your snacks out like 2 hours apart. If you have these big gaps of time in between, you're going to be starving by the time lunch comes around, and then you're going to make decisions that you won't be proud of later. So space them out. Have your breakfast, 2 hours later, have your snack. 2 hours later, have your lunch, etc., etc. Okay? So don't let yourself get starving. That's not good. Okay? So stay on track with that. That'll help you a lot. And then the other thing, the one last thing I want to bring up, is that you can have some sweets and treats on this, which is awesome. I think it's awesome. You can read more about it on page 60 and a little bit before that. Just read the book. Read the whole book. Okay, but your treats, 3 times a week, you can replace one of your carb containers for the day for a sweet treat. Now, if you look on page 60, you'll see your sweet treats that are allowed in this. And that can kind of be nice to take the edge off a little bit. Like if you're really craving chocolate, you can have some chocolate, you know. So follow the guidelines on that, because it'll give you a way maybe to push through some of those cravings and still stay on track. Now, for some of you, I know that it's better for you to just go cold turkey, because if you have a treat or a sweet, then it'll just throw you overboard and you want the whole bag. So if that's you, just stay away from it altogether. Do yourself a favor. But if you need just that little spoonful or that little sweet treat to kind of help push you through the day, then take advantage of that, but make sure you do it the right way, okay? So you still stay on track. And I think that's it for now. If you guys have any questions, email me, comment below. I definitely want to hear from you guys on this. We're in this together, and 21 days from now, you're going to be looking and feeling a whole lot better, okay? So I'll see you guys soon. Take care.